Check that mic. That's right. We check the mic every time, Pika. We all know what happened the last time I let you touch the controls. Oh, my goodness. I never thought we'd get those viewers back. That was just a nightmare. Hi, welcome once again to the Comics Coffee Table. How are you? We're taking a break from our day. We're taking our minds off of our minds by joining in a conversation about something we all love, comic books. So grab a cuppa of whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. If my Uncle Brian's watching, remember this one? You brought this back from Germany, or one of the girls did. Slancha. Cheers. It's new release Sunday, too, so looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't just drink coffee at the coffee table. I drink tea as well. And this is my grandmother's teapot, too. You know, you're never too old to miss your grandma and your grandparents. So, it's my grandma. There's my grandpa. I pitch a picture of him in front of my camera. It's easy sometimes to make content and talk to people when sometimes your ideal conversation when talking to people, it's like, I'm talking to my pa, archetypically here. He's listening to me. He liked me, and he would just listen to me go on and on about the Star Wars stuff and the G.I. Joe stuff and the Space Teen 99 stuff, you know, and so I'm talking to you. Yes, we're having a conversation. Sure. Yes, we are. And the live chat proves that. You know, we all show up here 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Well, click on those notifications, ring that bell, subscribe for daily content like this. We're taking a break from our day. We're taking our minds off our minds. We're leaving the real world's problems at the door. We're pulling up a chair to our comics coffee table. We're grabbing a cuppa, whatever it is we're shoving under our noses today. And we're talking about books, comic books with friends here at a coffee table. Slancha. Cheers. I'm an old man, so this is an herbal tea for kidney and bladder health. You know, to improve the water pressure. I'm an old man now. It is new release Sunday, indeed. And I'm looking forward to sharing my new releases that I bought on Wednesday. Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. And on Sundays, we cover what I picked up on New Comic Book Day. I'm so happy and privileged and excited and blessed and grateful to be connected into a fellowship and community of YouTube creators, comic book creators. Thank you once again to Wes at Thinking Critical. Go subscribe to him. Check out his content. He's my cup of tea. He might not be your cup of tea, but he's most definitely mine. And I'm blessed and grateful to be invited onto his Saturday morning, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern, his comic book panel show. I was on there yesterday, and it's always a fun time. And if you came here through Wes's channel, good to see you. And I always, it's always a blessing to be asked to be on his show, and it's never taken for granted. And I feel as though, you know what, it's great to have, like, a place at the table. You know what I mean? Just like it's nice to be included in this. We happy few. Cheers. Yes. That's a hot cuppa. And awesome. So the part of the show, if you're new to the show, because every day we get new viewers, and it's good to see you out there. So please, click on those notifications. You will eventually learn how to tell time. Yeah. Oh, it must be 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Gosh, look at my wrist. And I go to my local comic book shop at least once a week. I'm blessed and grateful to have several comic book shops in my Boston area. I have one in my village square, which is also a vintage toy store. It's a beautiful comic book shop. It's a big place, and it's usually got kids involved in it too. I mean, before the lockdowns, they had game days for a tabletop and card playing kit. It's just great to see kids in a comic book shop. It's so natural. I was a kid in a comic book shop, so I'm like, you know what? The kids like this stuff and they like their stuff. It's gonna be okay. I think it might be okay. But I'm concerned about the overall, health of my comic book shops, so I spend my money there. Specifically on supplies. I am reboxing, reboarding, and rebagging my entire collection this year on the show. And along the way, I'm going to give myself a ballpark estimate of what my collection is worth and get my head around grading. So I got these 2 books. You can find links in the description to their Amazon pages where you can get your own copies at home and you can play along at home from your very own coffee table or your, wherever it is you're hanging out today on YouTube. This is the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. This is the second time I've got this, second year in a row. I'm going to be getting this from now on. The Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics, the 10-point standard scale that's accepted in comic books and comic book shops. It's deciphered here. It's laid out here. And I also got it signed by the cover artist, Billy Tucci. Great guy. And these 2 books were given to me by my parents for Christmas last year. So this season is dedicated to my parents. Thank you very much. I love you. And I love my comic book shop too. So if you have a question or concern about the value or condition of your funny books, please bring them to your local comic book shop. They should be able to grade that comic and give you a fair estimate of its price and its condition. Or at least put you in the most professional, give you a professional suggestion on where to get your question answered. We do this show for entertainment purposes only, and to have fun and to educate ourselves. This is great. I've been learning so much about a facet of my lifelong hobby. And this is new to me, so I'm it's not like I'm expecting to get top dollar for any of my comics. We've seen them; they all suffer from spine roll. There's not a mint in the bunch, But still, they're dear to me. I bought them and I read them, all of them, and they can remind me of certain parts of my life and who I was at this time and where I was and what store did I buy this in. And it's just, it's been a great time for me. And I'm glad that you guys out there, especially in the live chat and in the comments, you keep this conversation going, this comic book shop style conversation. We have proven that we can talk about comic books every day. We make it happen. And it's great to take a break from the real world. We're going to get back to our problems. We're going to clobber our problems and not have our problems clobber us. We're going to run our day, and we're not going to have our day run us. But we're going to take a break because we deserve a break, and we're taking one together. So whether it's the live chat premiere or you're watching this later on, welcome to the Comics Coffee Table. You are welcome here. Pull up a chair. Where are you from? What's your local comic book shop? What are you getting? What did you get this week? It's New Comics Day. Let's talk about new comics. We usually talk about old comics. Well, because we're rebagging, reboarding, and rebagging, and reboxing my entire collection. Speaking of your local comic book shop, I get my supplies there. I will pay the markup, the retail markup. Why? Because it's worth it to me to help keep my local comic book shop open. It really is. It's a huge part of my culture. And when they're gone, they're gone. Like toy stores, music shops, they'll be, so the market might be changing. Floppies might be changing. And we're along for this ride. So let's do it together and try to keep them as healthy as possible. So I'm buying my boxes there. I'm buying my bags there. And my acid-free boards, which I should have been using the entire time. And, and I'm paying the markup. And I could be getting these at discount with at-home delivery through my online supply chain, with the free shipping and the built-in movie network. And we all know that one, right? But no, it's important for me to spend my money at my local comic book shop. I'm blessed with an abundance of comic book shops. Some people out there right now, you can. I know some of my friends out there. They drive an hour to their LCS. It's an hour, but still, and there are lines on new release day. I'm like, and wow, and next week, next Saturday, it's free comic book day. So get your ass to your local comic book shop. Buy some supplies while you're there. Get some boxes, get some boards, get some bags. You need them, right? So get them while you're there. And bring the kids. Bring your nephew or a niece, or just or bring yourself and have a good time. And get a free comic book. I'm going to go to Free Comic Book Day. I'm going to check it out, make a little, iPhone video. And I'm interested in that Conan issue on Free Comic Book Day. So I'm gonna bring you to my comic book shop on Free Comic Book Day. We're gonna have a field trip, and it's gonna be fun. And so yeah, let's get to it. It's new release Sunday. New releases. What's in the bag? What's in the bag? It's the ubiquitous comic book shop brown paper bag. Yes, to carry home your funny books in. Don't roll them up and put them in your back pocket like you used to do when you're a kid. You could do, sometimes I do. It depends on what it is. There are some really cool looking facsimile issues that are out by DC and Marvel that reprint classic stories from the Silver and Bronze Ages. And the Golden Age, too. I mean, they got Wiz Comics #1 reprint. I'm a little upset. I'm like, I'd be interested, kind of, but the cover price puts me off. Cover price is $3.99, $4.99, $5.99. No, you needed to print this on cheaper paper and made these $1.99 funny books. That's my humble opinion. They're reprints. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. You can miss me with that, please. But you can't miss me here with my recommendations and stack. I got one sheer out recommendation. I bought 6 funny books this week. 6. Count them, 6. That's right. Dun, 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 dun. I bought 2 Marvel comic books. I know. It's okay. Don't give money to people that hate you. I know. Hey, I just found out. I was yesterday years old when I found out that Becky Cloonan, the writer of the most recent Exo Man of War, one half of the husband-wife writing team known as Clunrad, with Michael W. Conrad. She's got me blocked on Twitter. I've never interacted with this individual in my life. I've never added her. This is about being adjacent to people she doesn't like. How am I supposed to want to buy any of their stuff? I want to set this on fire. Now, see, I looked it up. Michael W. Conrad has not blocked me on Twitter, but Becky Cloonan has. I mean, so I really want, I was unsatisfied with this issue anyway. I mean, I didn't make a negative review of it. It just wasn't it's like, compared to, it's hard to compare it. Is it fair or unfair to compare it? Because I made the direct comparison to Exo Man of War #0 from 1993. Is that a fair or unfair comparison? You let me know in the chat. You let me know in the comment section. But it's like, I think it's fair, and is that why she blocked me? Because I didn't say anything unfavorable. I just said it wasn't really. I mean, I think this was a miss for me. That's okay. That happens. But I most definitely have probably been group blocked by another comic book creator that I never even have. I've never interacted with, and that just is like, wow. I'm sorry. You have to be a complete asshole. I know it's convenient for you, and you can really take care of the undesirables that way. But no, like I look at it like a virtual thought experiment at a basis level of humanity. Like, you've given yourself permission to put someone on a list and discard them. How am I? I've been judged as I must be your enemy. Seriously, that's how I interpret this. And it's my reason and my feelings and my opinion, and it's my choice to I that is a hill I will die on. Is that I'm very against group blocks. I would even appeal to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I summon thee, Elon. As a blue check marked subscriber, I should be immune to group blocks. I think that would be a great play. I mean, like, they would auto lift group blocks, and if you're gonna block someone, base it on a negative interaction, or maybe if you've I block people too, okay? And it's usually out of like somebody retweets something with violent content. Like, literally, there's so many people that given themselves permission to show fist fights and actual violence, videos of it. That's a permission I don't give you. And I draw the line there. And I can curate my timeline. I've got muted words, I've got muted accounts, I've got blocked accounts. You have the ability to curate your timeline, but I've never used a group block. And all of my blocks have come from a personal interaction of a dissatisfaction of not wanting that in my timeline. And I'm okay with that. But to be put on a list because I'm adjacent to an H8 group of comic book people that are... I'm not... Seriously. How am I supposed to buy your stuff? How am I supposed to take you seriously? I mean, you know what I mean? So that's my thought. If you're a fan of the show, you know how I feel about Twitter group blocking. But hey, I guess that's the reaction you wanted. And no particular order except for the last comic book, I'll save for last, which would be my recommendation and pick of the week, was coming up at the end. So at number 6 is, don't give money to people that hate you, Marvel Comics, I guess, who have the most group blocks against me. Or Star Wars. I'm giving money to Disney Star Wars, basically. But what I got this was for the Peach Momoko story and the Klaus Janson story as well. Klaus Janson goes way far back with Star Wars, Marvel Star Wars. He actually did the entire issue, story, art, inks, and colors for the 1970, the annual number 3, Marvel annual number 3. And so I'm going to go back and get that one. This is an Alex Maleev cover. Pretty cool. Let's see. So, Peach Momoko is really interesting. And I really dig her art. And I like it because it's expressive and it's interpretive, and it gives and there's no dialogue in here too. It's all, about symbolism, and it's about the feelings of the dark side, maybe the pull of the dark side. It's trippy. It has it reminds me of like the 70s art, and just something you can get lost into, something you can smoke a doobie to and just get lost in a panel for a while. And this is black, white, and red. So it's basically black and white, and only using red as the color. And we all know that red is the color of the Sith lightsaber, so that comes in really handy here. Or maybe some displays on Vader's chest, or the suns. Now this is a Klaus Janson. He drew this, and it's not my favorite Klaus in ever. There's a lot of, you see, all the shading and the color is all digital. Like those fake Ben-Day dots. Okay, and so look at this character's face right here. This one right here. We wait for the signal. You got very little bit of hatching. Hatching are the lateral lines. Cross hatching is when you have, it's for shading and depth, give the illusion of. So there's not a lot of cross hatching or hatching in any of these images. He's relying upon the digital effect of those Ben-Day dots, the fake Ben-Day dots, to give the shadings and the depth that he's looking for. And it's kind of a miss for me. So this is for me. I'm just being... Am I allowed to be critical? I'm a lifelong Klaus Janson fan. I got his autograph. I've met him twice in at last year's Wicked Boston Con and last week's Wicked Boston Con. I'm like, Klaus, hi. I love saying hi to him. He's a nice guy. And But for me, he's pretty much, it's got to be my least favorite Klaus art. I just don't dig the shading, but it's a pretty fun Vader story. I mean, so it's got 3 Vader. It's an anthology. It's the Jason Aaron, Leonard Kirk one. This is a 2-parter, so that will be in the next issue. But it's got 2 unrelated anthology style stories in here, and that was pretty fun. So I enjoyed it. I'm a lifelong Star Wars fan. You know that, right? You see my lightsabers. I'm a Star Wars. I mean, G1 G canon Star Wars fan. So and I grew up with the Marvel comic books. So I'm happy I got it because I love Star Wars. Come on, man. I want to like Star Wars. I want to buy Star Wars. But how can I with the whole don't give money to people that hate you part of this? And I've had my legit problems with Marvel creators, contract creators, right? They're not actually employees of the company and blah, blah, blah. Alrighty. My second Marvel magazine, too, is another movie adaptation to continuation. It's Alien by Declan Shelvey. This is part 1 of 6, so it suffers from, it's not about suffering. It's just it's the beginning of Act 1. It's a 6-issue, this is just, we call it being written for the trade. And so there's no tension. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just the opening part of a 6-part story. So it's the beginning of Act 1. You got 6 issues. So you have Act 1, 2, and 3. Boom. Simple storytelling. And it's the first time... that was the other issue. Sorry, not the first time. So this is... I'm actually interested in this, to be honest with you. But this is like the legendary, whoa, it's going to be a $9.99 issue number 1. You're going to pay $10 for you're going to do that? You're going to, for 9 issues or something like that? Or just, are you really in for that? Are you going to fall for that? I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. But it's like we're on an ice world where, where they're mining for water. And it's a precious resource. Humans need it. So this is a whole world filled with ice. It needs to be just, carved up and sent off world to be sold. And what lurks under the ice? Of course, there's xenomorphs involved. And Space Marines get involved too. We have here from DC Black Label. So it's the only, this is my only DC comic this month. And it's Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House on DC Black Label. Now this is my first James Tynion the 4th issue of anything I've ever read or bought on purpose of his, and it's pretty decent art. But this is again, it's written for the trade. This is part 1. This is issue 1, so it's just the opening of Act 1, whatever it is. It's set in the Sandman universe, so it's about heaven and hell and angels and demons and selling your soul. And we have our protagonist. Is it the human that is in the process of selling his soul or not? Or is it here, the 2nd Corinthian? Is this the 2nd Corinthian? I guess so. I mean, I'm not sure. But I know, one thing that I do know is that the Sandman universe is, it's curated by Neil Gaiman himself. Just want to let you see this big old splash page here. So yeah, I mean, nothing goes on without his approval. So yeah, we have the Corinthian, who was a nasty nightmare made by Dream, by Morpheus. And so the first Corinthian was literally a serial killer and had a following of serial killers. And when Morpheus was trapped in the jar, Corinthian got out of the dreaming, violating Dream's orders to stay within the dreaming because the 2 worlds need to be separate. And so Corinthian became like the god, like the saint of serial killers for under 100 years. And he was destroyed by Dream for violating Dream's command, because he's the king of dreams. He's royalty. He gets so, He Dream later on reconstitutes the Corinthian, and it's like a nicer, more loyal form of the Corinthian. So, and this second Corinthian has complete memories of his first incarnation, so he thinks he is that first incarnation as well. Yeah, it's hey, it's comic book stories. There you go. The Corinthian, the guy that has the dark glasses because he has teeth, like teeth for eyes. He's a nightmare. He looks like a nightmare. It's disgusting. It's great. From IDW, who is failing. Oh, how can they be failing when I'm buying their comic books? Well, I got issue number 2 of Saturday Morning Adventures, Dungeons and Dragons. This, I can literally hear the voice actors in the voice bubbles. The art in here is really fun. We got a gelatinous cube, which is one of the worst ways to go in Dungeons and Dragons, in my humble opinion. Oh, gelatinous cube. Look at a gelatinous cube. I love it. This is really fun. It puts the fun back in funny books for me. And I'm happy to have got this. And I hope that IDW can, find some of their feet and come back from this. The Ambassadors by Mark Millar and his coterie of all-star artists. Number 3 came out on Wednesday. By 3 p.m., new release day, when I got to the comic book shop, it was sold out, issue number 3. Just like issue number 2 was a couple of weeks previous. So issue number 2 was available on the shelf that day, and so I got it. First printing as well, because this has gone to second printing. Issue number 1 has gone back to third printing. This is and Mark Millar is a very nice guy on Twitter, and I keep in touch with him. I tell him, hey, there was 1 copy of issue number 1 left, second printing. There were 2 copies of this left, issue number 2. You had sold out of issue 3 by 3 p.m. Way to go! And it's issue number 3 by the Ambassadors is on fire right now. Everyone's talking about it, and I will get my copy. I trust my local comic book shop. They get the stuff back. It will be on the shelf before you know it. You just have to be patient and even converse with the staff. Be like, hey, I'm looking for Ambassadors 3. It's coming back. And we're going to work on that. You're not the only one who's asked for that. Is that, you talk to the staff at your local comic book shop. You can also get a pull box too. But this was great. It's about it's about superheroes and about creating new superheroes, about being chosen as a good person for who gets to have these superpowers? Well, someone with morality, and someone's the person who's sharing their powers is being the judge of who gets these powers, and it boils down to basically being a good person. And it's international. It's really fun. This is so well written. Carl Kerschel does the art in here. It's really good, and I'm so happy to be a vested part of this current incarnation of the Millarverse. This is great. And check out Mark Millar's Miller Time interviews. That they're always good and insightful, and just I find them very illuminating. This is my number 1 pick, and I hope this is my recommendation. I hope you pick this up. As being a lifelong Star Wars fan, as I already admitted, this is just like a great Star Wars story, but it's not Star Wars at all. It's set in its own place, its own sci-fi world. It's called Oswald and the Star Chaser, and this is issue number 1 from Scout Comics. Written by Tommy Kulik. The co-writer and the letterer is Tyler Villano Maron. The artist is Tom Hoskisson, and colorist is Simon Robbins. And here's the Indicia colophone. This is Scout Comics, and at a $4.99 cover price. And it's just fun. It looks like it's been drawn on a tablet. You know how I feel about it's like you're printing up tablet style stuff, but here's a nice little info bomb. So this kid is he he says, "I am a knight, and I am here to save the galaxy from the evil new king." And he's come to like the backwater space station because he heard that the heroes that he needs to collect could be here. So he walks into a bar, and hijinks ensue, and he runs into, this is Oswald, and so he's the young knight, and the knights have been banned by the new evil king, and here he meets Star Chaser, and Star Chaser just looks after him. He's like, you know what, the kid's right, the new king's bad for business. We got to do something about him. So therein starts the adventures of Oswald and the Star Chaser. And I love, look at that bubble over his head. I mean, that's his atmosphere bubble. That's so old school sci-fi. I love it. So this is a fun comic book. I'm totally getting issue 2, and I'm really happy to have, like, I'm supporting in smaller presses. I'm so glad that I wanted to buy something new. This caught my eye, and it's like, hey, it's an issue 1, but it's a new story, and I'm really kind of thrilled about the trade dress, the look of it. I mean, but I'm story. It really knocked my socks off. I really enjoyed it, and it's very Star Warsy. And as a Star Wars fan, I mean, I found this to be really, really charming in that tradition. And and those are my new releases for this week. So thank you so very much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here, 3 p.m. U.S. when Eastern, daily. You heard it. You heard the executive producer. I gotta listen to him, so do you, huh? No. And thank you. It's so good to see you in the live chat. If I'm able to make the 3 p.m. U.S. premiere, U.S. Eastern time premiere, I'm there with you guys, chatting it up, taking a break, and enjoying our comics coffee table. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. God bless. Namaste. Good luck, and we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.